Hey there, crafty friends, it's Tina the Scrappin' Rabbit. Thanks so much for stopping by the channel today. In today's video, I'm going to be creating a card for the Scrappy Tails Crafts All the Shop video and blog hop. We are creating projects using the newest release. In this case, I'm using the A7 flower cover plate dies and also products from older releases, which I'm using the Open Butterflies die. All the products that I'm using and the links to the shop will be listed in the description box below. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and cut out the floral frame using some green textured cardstock. I like to add a little bit of dimension by adding shading using my Copic markers. I'm going to be using the YG67, the YG63, and the YG03, and I'm not going to be too careful. I'm just adding a little bit of shading. So really quickly, I'm just going along some of the vines and some of the leaves with the darkest marker. And then once I go all the way around the frame, I'm going to go ahead and grab the medium color and then blend that out just a little bit. And it comes out pretty dark initially when you're doing it, but once the Copic markers dry, you get a nice subtle shading, and I think that it adds so much texture and dimension, and I really like the way that that looks. Now with the lightest marker, I'm just going to go around and just blend both of those colors out, smooth out any harsh lines, and then my floral frame is ready to go. Now for the flowers, I'm going to use some white cardstock, and I'm going to do some light coloring. I decided to use purples for these flowers today. So the lightest color, I'm just going to really quickly give it a base color of the lightest shade, which is the V20. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of lines, coloring those lines that are actually in the die cut with the V22, the V15, and then the V17. And then once I have that lightest to dark, I'm going to go back over and blend out with the V15, the V22, and the V20, and then that basically blends out any harsh lines, and then you have a really nice little purple flower. Now that I have all my flowers cut out, I'm going to go ahead and glue them to the frame. It's like a little puzzle, so all of the flowers have a little match, and I'm just using some liquid glue to add those flowers to the frame. And then I'm using my little tool there, my little picker tool, that really helps me with all the little pieces, that and the tweezers. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have both of these little tools. And because I love to paper piece, these tools are really important in terms of making it a lot easier. So now that I have my little frame done, I'm going to go ahead and cut out the butterflies. So you get 2 die cuts for each butterfly. One does the intricate outline and one does the base. I'm using black cardstock, and I poked out all the little pieces with my tweezers. And then for the back piece, I'm going to color that using my Copic markers. For the body, I'm just using a tonal gray, and I'm using the same colored purples for my butterfly, so I want it to coordinate. And I'm not going to be too careful with the coloring. I'm just going to go dark to light, blending out any of the lines and adding some different purple shades. Again, going dark to light and then blending it out. So I've colored these butterflies before, and I've done like a monarch butterfly in a past video and like a blue butterfly, so I thought it was kind of fun to do purple today. Once I have my butterfly all colored up, I can go ahead and glue the black outline pieces to the background piece. I do like to go around the edges with a darker color. This is like, I believe, a T7, and then that way you don't have any white peeking through. I'm going to glue that down using my liquid glue. I love the little fine tip on this glue. It really helps for all of these little intricate die cuts. If you are hopping along for our blog hop that ends on May 2nd, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, make sure that you do leave comments on all the stops. The more comments that you leave, the more chances you have to win. There's 3 prizes of $25 gift certificates to the shop. And so the more comments you leave, the more chances you have to win. So for my butterfly, I am grabbing my Jelly Roll pen and I'm adding some of these little white dots along the wings. And I really think that that adds so much detail. So I'm going to use the words that come with this flower cover plate die. This die is just fantastic. There's just so many different possibilities. I've never cut the words out, so I'm using my wire snips to separate the word and the background pieces. I went ahead and cut the words with black cardstock and the background pieces with some vellum, and now I'm just going to adhere those together using some liquid glue. If you get too much glue on your thin die cut, you can always dab it off on some scratch paper, which is what I like to do so that it doesn't ooze off the sides. And I'm just going to use thank you for my words. And I also grabbed an embossing folder to emboss a 5x7 panel for my 5x7 card base, and I'm going to glue that down using some liquid glue. I have embossing folders that are probably 20 years old. I never got rid of them, and now they are all the rave, and so I'm really glad that I still have my embossing folders that I can play with. I'm going to glue the floral frame down onto my embossed panel, and I think that the liquid glue really helps to make sure that it doesn't come apart, especially since the background is embossed. So this card is coming together rather quickly, and now I'm just placing the words and the butterfly down, and I'm going to again use my liquid glue to do that. And I think that it looks very elegant. It's so pretty. I love the purples that coordinate with each other, and I'm going to have the wings kind of pop up a little bit, so I'm just gluing down the center of the butterfly, and then I'm going to add some sparkly purple gems. And once I get all of those placed, I'm going to grab my little jewel picker and glue all of those sparkly gems down. And I think that that adds a lot of beautiful detail. There are so many different ways you can decorate a card like this. You can use pattern papers, you can use colored cardstocks. You don't have to color the flowers like I did. I just love to color, so I tend to color everything because I love to stamp and color as well. And I do like to add the nouveau as well to the center of the flowers for some extra sparkle, and that completes this first card. I love how it shimmers, and it's just such an elegant card. I did create a second card off camera to save some time, and it's another 5x7, and I used the cutout to create a frame. The cardstock, it kind of looks a little green on camera, but it's actually like a teal wood grain, and so that was the teal with the purples, and the other one is just the purples. The sentiment that I stamped is from the Flower Shop 6x6 stamp set, and I did a little ink blending there in the center. So these are my 2 cards that I created for this hop using the A7 flower cover plate dies, as well as the older release Open Butterflies die. Thanks so much for stopping by. Thanks so much for watching. And don't forget to leave your comments for your chance to win. There are 3 $25 gift certificates to the shop available for 3 lucky winners. I hope you like my cards. I hope you liked my video. Have a fantastic day. And until next time, happy crafting. Bye for now.